Cynthia and Peter, they have a discussion, and it's kind of like a finale like discussion. Like they're really sitting there talking about how they feel about their divorce and how they feel about everything that's going on, and they're having a friendly conversation. And it was, just listening to that conversation between Cynthia and Peter, it kind of made me want them to kind of work it out, because it's pretty clear to me that Cynthia and Peter still have some form of love for each other. Because a lot of the times we see people go through divorce and we see that there's no love there. They still hate each other. There's nothing that nobody can do to really fix the situation. It's going to always be hate after hate after hate. So to see them sitting there discussing it and all of that, and even thinking about having a little bit of finale sex regarding their divorce and everything like that, it was pretty cool to see that. Because honestly, although I didn't like Cynthia nor Peter, and honestly I didn't like neither one of them as a couple, it's gonna be weird seeing Cynthia without Peter, or seeing Peter without Cynthia. It's gonna be really, really weird, because since Cynthia's been on the show, she's been with Peter. She got married on the motherfucking show. Like, it feels like we know them. You know how you see couples in your town or in your city, your village, unincorporated community, wherever the fuck you live, and you've known these people for years. When they break up, you'll be like, oh, I sure hate that they broke up. Like, you was a part of the relationship. That's just how it feels, and you can tell that they got some love for each other. Like, they're still in love with each other. And you hearing Cynthia say, well, I honestly felt like, in a way, it's not about Peter failing me as a husband. It's really about me and myself and what the fuck I did to pretty much, catapult the divorce and catapult us to where we're at this point. So she didn't really just put all the blame on Peter, which is understandable. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're having a divorce, it's not really just one person's fault. You also have to take into account what the fuck you did in that relationship. But honestly and truly, just to sum it all up, I really am gonna miss Cynthia and Peter as a married couple. It's pretty clear that they're still in love with each other, and I don't see Cynthia moving on that fast. I don't see her going out on dates that fast either. I mean, she still loves her some Peter, and Peter and Noelle still have a relationship, so I don't see her just giving up that easily. It's probably going to be another Nene and Greg type of thing. Like, Nene knows she didn't want to get rid of Greg, and I don't know why she was trying to pretend like she wanted that white ass man that she was dating, because she knew Greg was in a hard. People that really love each other, somehow, some way, they do find their way back to each other. That's just how I feel about it. So Todd came to Cynthia, and it's Peter's birthday, and Peter always has an opinion about a lot of things and a lot of people on the show. He always speaks his ever-loving mind whenever nobody really cares to hear about what the fuck he got to say about shit. You know what I'm saying? For the last few years he's been on the show. Peter done been on the show for 7 years? For the last 7 years he been on the show, I've never liked Peter. I never cared to hear anything he had to say. I always felt like he was a shit starter. I always felt like he was a pussy ass nigga, and I always felt like he spoke his mind a bit too much for my taste. But at the end of the day, they decided to do this. Okay, we're going to put Peter in the hot seat. So we're going to talk to Peter, and we're going to have everybody roasting Peter like he roast everybody else. And I felt like that was a good idea. I mean, shit, put that nigga in a hot seat. That's how I feel. Put his ass in the hot seat. Because at the end of the motherfucking day, he puts everybody else in the hot seat. So it'll be nice to see him in a hot seat for once. You know what I'm saying? For once, he's in a motherfucking hot seat. So everybody went up there, they put Peter in the seat, everybody went on stage and talked about him and just, roasted him. It wasn't funny, it was corny as a motherfucker to me, but cornily funny at the same time. It wasn't that funny, but it was corny to the point where it'll make you laugh. Everybody trying to be Kevin Hart, the most unfunniest motherfucker in the comedy world, but it is what it is, They were just having fun, and I see that he really enjoyed himself. He was surprised that Phaedra and Portia really didn't have much to say regarding him and his finances, or him fucking around with 17-year-old girls and all of that. So it was pretty fun, and nobody took no digs and nothing like that. He could take a joke. So they all get on the boat, and everybody else is sitting outside the boat, but Sheree and Bob go on the inside of the boat and they sit down. Sheree still not over the incident that happened the episode before when he made the comment about choking her hard enough or taking the seatbelt off of her so he can ram her into the windshield or some shit like that. And then, at the end of last week's episode, when she tried to get him to apologize, he thought the shit was fucking funny when he was saying the shit that he was saying about what happened between the two of them. And Sheree still not over that. And with her trying to reconnect with Bob and trying to, be friends with him and try to be at a friendly stance because they're our parents, at the end of the day, there's still a lot of things that they never really discussed. And when you don't discuss certain things in life with certain people that have hurt you and you're trying to reconnect with them, it's going to be hard when you don't have that discussion. So Sheree brought up a lot of the things that happened between her and Bob. It involved the kids, it involved every damn thing, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, that conversation was needed. Sheree was crying about it. She felt free after the conversation. And sometimes you need that conversation to feel free. You don't necessarily have to be in these people's lives like that. You don't even have to be friends with them. You don't have to be fucking with them. But to get that off your chest, it does bring like this sense of freedom when it's not on your chest anymore. They have a divorce party for Cynthia and Phaedra. It's all Kenya's idea. And, to celebrate them being free. Cynthia felt some kind of way about it, but, she felt like Kenya had very good intentions for the party, so she decided to just go ahead and go along with it or whatever. Next thing you know, everybody else comes, Phaedra comes, and all of a sudden this bitch sick. And she's sick to her stomach, and she got a nasty ass attitude about the situation. So while they were playing games or whatever, everybody else had fun except for Phaedra. So Phaedra decides that she wants to tiptoe out the party. And her whole thing was they're making a mockery out of marriage and all of this stuff. And here's my thing. She texts Portia because everybody else sensed that, Phaedra really wasn't feeling the party at all. Everybody was sensing it. But, Portia was like, oh, she was really sick. Again, always trying to cap for Phaedra all the fucking time. But we already knew that she wasn't feeling the party. So when the text come, it really reveals the fact that, Phaedra was very upset about the party. Which is what Phaedra always does. If she was very upset about the party like that, she could have really just said that to their face instead of sending a text message being a fake ass bitch like she always is. Of course she didn't say it to nobody's face, and she waited until she got around, did a text message, and didn't think that it was going to get out, and it got out. Portia was the one to read it. So the next thing Kenya goes and confronts Phaedra about the situation. And it all goes back to the texting thing. And Phaedra really want to say that Kenya had a part in her divorce. Honestly, y'all, let me just be honest with y'all. For the last 5 years that Kenya been on this show, she's always been ostracized. And I've always been one of the vloggers that was on Team I Hate Kenya, Team I Hate Twirl, Team Kenya Get the Fuck On. And I stand by that. I don't like Kenya like that. But when a person is wrong, whether I like them or not, I'm going to say that. If a person is right, whether I like them or not, I'm going to say that. And in this instance, I don't really fuck with Kenya or Phaedra. Let me just be real about that right there. I don't fuck with Phaedra and I don't fuck with Kenya. Both of them are fake as hell to me. However, and I knew this fake ass relationship between the two of them wasn't going to last at all. I mean, too much has happened between the two of them to be friends. But it's really unfair for Phaedra. It's one thing that you felt some kind of way about the divorce party. Okay, that's understandable. You don't want to celebrate your divorce. You don't want to celebrate the fact that your son, your son is losing a father. Your sons are losing a family. Who would want to celebrate that? So I get that part. But for you to sit up here and bring up some text messages from a long, long motherfucking time ago talking about how your husband, how Kenya has played a part in your divorce, when your husband was the one that was texting Kenya, constantly texting Kenya, and then he lied and said that Kenya tried to fuck him when she didn't. Now, granted, she did flirt with Apollo. She did say a lot of flirtatious things about him, regarding sleeping with him, regarding him being fine and all of that stuff. And when you said that you didn't like that, she stopped flirting with your husband. But she didn't stop contacting your husband because he was contacting her. But you put all the blame on her, and you're the one who kept up with this motherfucking lie. Now, granted, That's your husband. You gonna rock with your husband. You gonna believe your husband before you believe a bitch that you don't like. But your husband was fucking lying, and you never did apologize to Kenya for that shit. The only person that really came to Kenya's defense regarding this whole situation is Candy. I even apologize for going in on the bitch because he was lying, and he admitted that he was lying. But at the end of the day, you want to say that she played a part in it? If she played a part in your motherfucking divorce, then why the fuck did you fake and play nice with her, bitch? If that was the case, your husband was the one that was texting her. Kenya on, loyalty. Now she probably shouldn't have been. Kenya was wrong for texting him back. But Apollo was the one that was married. He knew you didn't fuck with that bitch. So why was he texting her? Apparently he wanted to fuck her just as much as she probably wanted to fuck him, Phaedra. Phaedra, have a seat. You're a fake ass bitch, okay? That's why I can't fuck with you. And I don't see how nobody don't see your lies. You've been lying since you came on the show. You been lying. You say one thing, you do another. And I know bitches like you, and that's why I'm starting not to fuck with these bitches, because I expect the motherfucker to tell me what it really is to my face instead of telling everybody but me and then have me look like I'm a damn fool. That's why I don't fuck with certain people no more, because they do that Phaedra shit, in my face. Oh, everything is all good. You good, we good, I'm good, ain't no problem. But when you get around somebody else, it's, oh, he didn't do this, or he didn't, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't tell me that. But you got me looking like a damn fool. So if you really couldn't get past that TextGate shit, you should have never started fucking with Kenya. You shouldn't have been going on one-on-one lunches with her. You shouldn't have been giving her no advice. You shouldn't have been building shit with that bitch. Period. If you couldn't get over it. So at the end of the day, bitch, you always want to cling to your Bible and be the Southern Belle that you claim that you is, but you ain't, bitch. That's why I don't fuck with you. So fuck Phaedra. Okay? Phaedra is so fucking fake, and that's why I can't fuck with her. She can hold a grudge like no other, but acts like she's a woman of God. Bitch, have a seat. But with that being said, this is my review on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. See y'all for my Love and Hip Hop review. And I have an update on Baywatch. Baywatch number 4 will be coming this week as well. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.